in Durban's North Beach, and we're talking the 35th annual Indaba. And right now joining us is the man who's in charge of SA Tourism's digital affairs, who's going to tell us about how technology has revolutionized the Indaba. He's also joined by Chet Shiver from TripAdvisor. You would have heard earlier on the grading councils here telling us about how their relationship with TripAdvisor has changed the way they do things for the best. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So, William, tell us about how technology has had an impact on the Indaba.
Well, as you know, technology has changed everything that we do. So from banking all the way through to how we share what we do, where we go. So travel is such a big part of social media and how we look at trends and how we look at what consumers are using. We have to keep up to date with that. So Indaba being a travel trade show, technology becomes one of the most important topics for us to be able to teach the trade how to use technology to get more business out of the travel trade.
Chad, your relationship with SA Tourism and the Grading Council is said to be one of the most positive steps they've taken. How do you see that? Could you do without them? Could they do without you going forward?
No, I think the relationship that we've had with South African tourism has been absolutely fantastic. It's been long term, so we're going into our 6th year now. And not only are we partnering with South African tourism to get the message about South Africa out to our users around the world, we're now partnering with the TGCSA to help them recognize the best of the graded establishments within South Africa. And we're really happy because we're working better with the consumer in South Africa now. We've just delivered a South African domain, tripadvisor.co.za, so South African users can come to us and find everything localized in South African Rand, and it makes the experience a lot more streamlined.
One of the key innovations that came as a result of the relationship between the two is the POCAM. Tell us a little more about it.
Well, as I said before, technology is really one of the things that we at South African Tourism recognize as making your connections count. So the Indaba Connect is a device that's a near-field communications device. So basically what it does is it allows us to put these on our lanyards for all of our exhibitors and buyers, and because it's a radio frequency enabled tag, what you do is you literally connect to each other by tagging the two devices together, and it really replaces the traditional business card. So it does a lot of things to prevent us from having to lug around piles and piles of paper and brochures, and it also allows us to be able to get I'll show you how it works again. You'll see there's a little green, it glows green, and that then shows us that there's a connection. So in the old days when you had business cards, and a lot of the business doesn't always take place on a stand, sometimes there's an exchange of business cards at a coffee table or sometimes at a late event. You pull out the business card, you can't remember who it belongs to. This connects to your social profile, so you'll see the photograph of the person, all of their social media platforms are connected to it, and you then be able to connect to people and use that communication between you and the other people in a closed environment. So similar to LinkedIn, you can see all the connections that people have made, you can share documents, and I think yesterday by the close of the day there were over 123,000 connections that were already made and over 500,000 downloads of different bits of information between the different exhibitors and the buyers, which just means connectivity for us at a show like this is massive, and we can measure it and we can see the efficacy of it.
Chad, how else have you seen the Indaba use technology positively?
Technology is such a big part of Indaba. It's a key part of this year's Indaba, especially with the launch of the Tech Zone, which William's team has worked very hard on. So William's brought together key digital partners within the travel industry. So we've had TripAdvisor, Facebook, Google, Wayne, and others all on site, trumpeting exactly how important digital is in bringing the global travel community together.
Tell us about your Meet South Africa blogging campaign.
It's the second time that we've brought out international bloggers. This year we brought 14 of them out. We paired them up with 3 South African local bloggers. We sent them on 3 different itineraries across the country, and we basically gave them the opportunity to encounter South Africa. And in them encountering South Africa, they've created an amazing amount of content. Everything from Instagram posts to sharing what they ate, what they did, where they've gone. And because we were able to spread them across the country and bring them back just before Indaba started, we were able to really add to the volume of the user-generated content that we're starting to use more and more of in our marketing efforts. Consumers today don't believe in the traditional branded advertising messaging that you've seen in mass media for so long. Mm-hmm. That's why TripAdvisor is so important to us, because people are really looking for authentic communication that's being shared. So they would far better see me taking a photograph, of this particular view and go, geez, like, where is that? That's at the Blue Waters Hotel. I'd like to go. I'd like to see. That then suddenly becomes a whole different way of looking at things.
And what's the hashtag for this year's Indaba?
Meet South Africa is the hashtag. It's our always on campaign, but the hashtag for Indaba is Indaba 2014.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
William Price is the Global Manager for SA Tourism's Digital Affairs, and Chad Shiver is with TripAdvisor. Let's take a net break.